Right, a special good morning to you. Thursday, what are we up to? I've even lost track of the date. Look, is it I think 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th of February. Now, it's the week is flying by, so I'm still waiting for a little bit more information about our return to school after half term, and then I'm going to be writing to your parents as well, giving them lots of information about that. But I was reflecting this morning. Number one, I hope that you enjoyed Mrs. Lowe's assembly. I could see she'd used some great IT, hadn't she? You could see the story, and she was in the corner telling, so she'll have to teach me how to do that. That's amazing from Mrs. Lowe. But also reflecting just how proud a lot of you of how many different languages we speak in the school. If I was thinking about individual children, how much their English has come along this year. I was thinking about one particular person who, over the last couple of months, their English skills have really come along. And I think at our school, I think we've got about 25 different languages spoken at the school. And I'm going to tell a story this morning about somebody learning English, which is a story that sits really well with us as a school. So Shabir had just celebrated his 8th birthday at home with his family in Bangladesh, in a small village, when his father came home and told him that they will all be moving to Swansea in Wales. Shabir didn't know whether to be pleased and excited or worried and nervous. The truth is, he felt all these emotions and started to think about what life would be like in this new place. And I imagine some of you have felt that over the years. He had never been to Swansea before, and he had only seen pictures of Swansea in some of the newspapers his mother and father would buy. Shabir was the oldest child in his family. He had 4 younger brothers and sisters, 2 girls and 2 boys. Shabir stood and looked out from his bedroom window to the passing people on the bicycles and the old lady who lived across the road from his family. She gave him a smile, like she usually did. The temperature was reaching nearly 40 degrees and people were doing their best to stay in the shade. Bangladesh was a hot country in the summer and Shabir was used to the heat. His family spoke their own language to each other. His mother and father knew some very basic phrases of English, but they had never really needed a new language because they had never left their village in Bangladesh. Shabir's father had made all the arrangements. He showed Shabir that they were moving close to by where his uncle lived in Swansea. The weeks passed and finally the day had arrived for Shabir to say farewell to his friends and to the people that lived nearby. Lots of families came to Shabir's home to see them. Shabir's mum shed some tears as she was very upset to be saying goodbye to friends that she had known for many years. And that's happened with a lot of families here at St Helens, isn't it? To a lot of you. You've had to leave where you were living and come to live in Swansea and join St Helens and all of the feelings that had caused you. I wondered if some of you probably understand just how Shabir is feeling at the moment. As the plane touched down in Cardiff, Shabir looked out from the window at the grey clouds in the sky and the people wearing long coats, hats and scarves. This was a very different place to where he used to live. He turned to his mother and she held his hand and gave him a heartwarming smile. Shabir knew he would be all right, but he was worried nevertheless. About 3 weeks later, Shabir started his new school. On the morning of the first day, Shabir was very worried about the other children not understanding him and was concerned about whether or not he could communicate with his teachers. The children in the class were very used to meeting newcomers and were very pleased to help Shabir settle in. His teacher was a very kind lady who gave him a big smile and showed him where to sit. And I always say that to you, what's the best thing you can ever do to welcome anybody new to the school? Give them a smile. He quickly became good friends with another boy in the class called Cameron. They would sit together every day and play together at break times and lunch times, and though Shabir and Cameron spoke completely different languages. They managed to communicate to each other a little. Cameron drew pictures for Shabir and used lots of hand gestures and actions to help Shabir understand what he was trying to say. Shabir would do the same thing back. Every now and again, Shabir would hear familiar words in English, and he slowly started to pick up the language, also alongside Welsh. After the first 2 weeks in his new school, he could say a few key phrases like "let's play" and "can I go to the toilet" and "please" and "thank you" in English and Welsh. Pleased with Shabby's efforts, Cameron would reward him and give him the thumbs up in class when he tried to answer questions. Cameron was a very proud friend, and he would always be pleased when Shabir learned something new. Every evening, Cameron would go with Shabir to the playground next to the park, and they would speak English together. Cameron drew a range of pictures with words underneath and glued them to pieces of card to make flashcards. Over and over again, Shabir would read the words and practice saying them aloud. A few months passed, and Shabir was now becoming a very fluent speaker of English. Shabir would even tell jokes in English, and he was very fast at answering questions in literacy lessons. Cameron and Shabir had formed a strong friendship, and Shabir's mother and father were not only pleased with their son, but they were thankful to Cameron for all his hard work. Shabir's mother had started to learn English too, and she loved inviting Cameron for tea so that she could practice her new words. Unfortunately, things didn't continue so well. It was a Monday morning when Cameron had to bring some disappointing news to Shabir and the rest of the class. Anybody know what the news might be? Cameron's family would move into a different house, and it would mean that Cameron would need to change schools. Cameron was tearful as he knew that telling Shabir would be a very difficult thing to do. "I've got something important to tell you," explained Cameron. Shabir understood and nodded. "Go on," replied Shabir. "My family and I are moving. We're moving house, school and everything," Cameron added. "Oh?" replied Shabir. "We're moving to Spain," said Cameron tearfully. Cameron could tell that Shabir was upset. He looked down towards his feet and then up again at Shabir's face. Shabir was smiling. "Why are you smiling?" said Cameron. Shabir began to laugh and giggle. "Because now it's your turn to learn a new language," said Shabir. "You'll be learning Spanish," he added, and he continued to laugh. Of course, Shabir was upset that Cameron was moving to Spain, but he liked to see the good side too. Cameron's last day arrived, and it was time to say goodbye to each other. The boys said their goodbyes, and part of Shabir felt very upset to see Cameron go. Cameron had always been so helpful to him. It was Cameron who had been the one who had helped Shabir learn English so quickly and so well. "Wait, I have something to give you," said Shabir. Cameron was given a little envelope, and inside was a card. It was a thank you card from Shabir with a message which read, "Dear Cameron, learning a new language is so much fun. You have helped me so much to learn English, and now I am helping my family to learn it too. I can't wait to see how much Spanish you learn to speak. I hope your new school has a Cameron there to help you, just like you helped me. I'll miss you. Adios, Shabir." Just over a week later, Cameron had started in his new school. Surprisingly, he was not the only English-speaking person in the class. In fact, there were 2 or 3 boys in the class who were new to learning Spanish. One of the boys was called Oliver, and he was already quite good at speaking Spanish. One afternoon, Oliver invited Cameron back to his apartment to practice. "Look at these cards I have made," said Oliver, as he showed Cameron lots of pictures with Spanish words underneath. Cameron smiled to himself as he looked out of the window. He remembered the flashcards he had made for Shabir. It was his turn to learn a new language this time. And learning a new language is an important skill, isn't it, when you move somewhere to live there? And if any of us went to live somewhere else, we'd have to learn the language too. And learn the lessons from people who join us in St. Helens who don't have any English but quickly pick it up and how helpful everybody is in the school. So another message, just how important it is to be kind to one another, to help one another, and think about everything that we do really well here at St. Helens, because you're brilliant. We've had language buddies in the past to help people who are new to the school with a particular language, to help them learn English. So something we know a lot about at St. Helens. So my final of the week, assembly of the week tomorrow will be about Chinese New Year, because tomorrow, the 12th of February, is the start of the Chinese New Year. Now, I believe it's the year of the ox. I might be incorrect, but we'll find out a little bit more about that tomorrow on Chinese New Year. So enjoy your home learning today. Well done to you who are getting up, enjoying your lessons, getting yourself to bed nice and early, being kind to everybody in the house, keeping safe in the house. I'm very, very, very proud of you. And for some of you, we're nearly back to coming back to school, and hopefully you older ones, it won't be too much longer either. So have a lovely day. As we'll always finish, we'll finish with the school prayer. Un, dau, tri. This is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let the rooms be full of contentment. Let love abide here. Love for one another and love for life itself. Let our school be a lovely place where all of us are caring to each other, to work our best and show our smiling face, staff and children helping one another today and always. Have a lovely day, and as we always say, to end our assembly, over and